now he doesn't. The river. Wonder what he had. We raise King Jack again. This guy calls us. We had a king on the flop. He shoves. We call and good game him. Of course we call there. Okay, table change. And the warden is back there. You'll see hanging balls stay pretty long. Icarus is there, the guy that shoved the kings all in pre-flop. And I think that's it from our old table. Now we got ace king. We get a min raise on the gun. We bump it up very strongly because we're showing him, this guy, he has us out chip. We're showing him that we're willing to play for a whole stack on that spot. So he just goes away. King Jack and a big blind. Can't call that. And ace queen is the nuts. Another min raise, the warden calls. He calls, and I'm peeling from a small blind because of incredibly huge pot odds. Okay. And I flop trips. He makes a bet of 400 there, and I raise it to 2000. At this point, if he's shoving, because he's not that aggressive, he always makes some small bets and stuff, but he's not reshoving me there with a weaker hand than my queen 9. That's what I thought, especially because he's not that aggressive. So I raised and want to get away from it if he had a better queen. However, he just called me. I can't definitely know that I'm good here, and this is a terribly bad card because it fulfills a straight for me. And now he bets 4,000. I have to call him there. I have to call him because I have trips and I can't be sure. Maybe he just called me with ace jack or ace king. Maybe he called me with ace 10 or so. And so I have to pay him off here. But I still don't have to go broke. So I only call and do not raise. I check to him again. The river brings the flush. I check again, and if he shoves me all in here, I have a pretty hard time deciding. I mean, I think I'm committed, and I think I would call here, but there's no way I can value bet this hand anymore here. I can check call it, get some hands that I beat, try to bluff me off my hand, and try to not lose anything, or try to lose the minimum against hands that have me beat. And luckily he checks us straight behind, and he takes that part, and we're down to 7,000. That's probably why you don't play Queen 9 out of position. But I don't really think it was a positional problem too much. Maybe my bet on the flop was too weak. When you got pocket sixes, two guys limp, this guy shoves all in, and I remember that I had notes on Crunch Daddy, I think, or it was in another spot. I think it was him. I had notes on him that he shoved pretty weak hands after limpers, and so I figured that my sixes were good against his range. There was some dead money in it, and I was pretty short here at the moment, so reshoved all in. I even think this we're in the money now. Anyways, he's got Jack 8, my 6 is hold, and I take him out. I think we're in the money here at this part of the tournament, and that's why I shove. 18 places get paid, and once the bubble has burst, I'm in my biggest gambling mode if I don't have a big stack, because I already got my money back, made some profits, and now I'm definitely only shooting for first place. So that's why I'm willing to gamble in such a spot, like done with the 6s. What a nice big blind, huh? That's a hand I don't even defend my blind with against the min raise. 4-9, I just call, and I check off, and he bets, and I raise him, and he calls, which is a pretty weird play. He bets again, I check, and now he checks. Okay, what's going on here? I call before the flop, and he checks. This guy was pretty aggressive, and I really think if he had a pocket pair there, he would re-raise me pre-flop. He would raise me pre-flop. If he had an ace there, I think he would raise me pre-flop. So I hit middle pair, and I'm really thinking I've got the best hand here with 4-9. The only hand that beats me I can think of would be 9-3. Reasonable from a random big blind hand, or 9 with a better kicker. He bets out 800 here, but he's bluffing so often that I just I re-raise him here out of position to find out where I am. I don't raise him that strongly. I make it another 1,200, and he stays in the hand with bottom pair. Now I'm still positive I have the best hand, most likely, but I can't be sure, and since he called my bet, there's no need to get any more chips voluntarily into the pot out of position. So just check it off. He makes a really small bet, and of course I call that, and we check it on the river. My hand is good. He had 3, so nice play. Would have called with King 10, but the warden made a min raise there, and so we got out of the way, even though we were on the button. Five is pretty bad. Ace Jack raises it up, and I make a rather questionable call, but I have a nice stack again, and he's deep stacked, and I will have position on him. And I think I looked up his stats before that and saw that he was not so good. So I decided to play pot against him, and he has me dominated. And the flop comes ace high. Ouch. But the big blind checks, and he bets 1,200. Of course, it's a harmless flop. However, I still thought, at that point, I thought he had an underpair to the ace and was worried about the ace because he bet so small. So I decided to take the pot, and I raise it up to 3,600. I think if he's got kings there, he will fold pretty often. But he calls with ace jack because he had the ace. I get a flush draw on the turn. He checks now, practicing some avoidance, which is actually a good play on his part there. And I check now behind. I'm positive he has the ace since he called my re-raise, and I've got a strong draw, so I'm just checking behind, and I catch my flush, and at that point he